Greetings everyone. Today our topic is related to IELTS Speaking Test sample questions. Here we will be discussing few more questions related to the IELTS Speaking Test. So what is the format of the test? The IELTS Speaking Test is always delivered in real time, face to face with an examiner. You may either do this at a test center or over a video call. There are three parts during the test, and the whole test combined will take approximately 15 minutes. Part 1 is the introduction, or you can say interview session. You will be asked some questions about familiar topics in English. Some example topics are here. They can be asking you related to your hometown, your family, your friends, your hobbies or activities in your spare time, work or studies, and this part lasts for around 5 minutes. In part 2, where individual long turn is there, you will be given a cue card with a topic on it and you will have to speak about that topic for between 1 to 2 minutes. So basically 1 minute will be assigned for your preparation and 2 minutes are there for your speaking time. You will have 1 minute to prepare for this topic and you can take notes during this time, which is very crucial time. So some example topics may be describe someone you know, that could be a friend, a memorable teacher, someone you respect. It can be on any one of all these things. Maybe they'll ask you to describe a film, a TV show, or a book you enjoyed. Describe an important possession you own, or maybe describe an interesting experience that is your last holiday, or it could be any topic. You will also get some extra details on your card to help you come up with some ideas for your short talk. You then may get some extra questions about this topic. So within this topic, you will be providing with few bullet points which will be helping you out in order to talk or discuss related to that topic and which areas you need to cover in your speaking test part 2. So part 3 is a two-way discussion. In this section, you will be asked some more detailed questions which are linked to part 2. Usually these questions ask you for your opinion or a certain topic or situation. The examiner will not time your answers, but answers to part 3 questions usually have more detail than the questions you get in part 1. Examples of speaking test topics. Let's look at some specific examples for each part and ways that they can be answered. In part 1, let's talk about your home or town or village. So what kind of place is it? What's the most interesting part of your town or village? What kind of jobs do the people in your town or village do? What would you say it's a good place to live? Why? So reasoning is also there. If you are saying that it's a good place to live in, then you are supposed to provide with the reasons or facts. And if you are not supporting this idea, then again you are supposed to state the reasons there. So let's move on to talk about accommodation. So if they're asking you related to something related to accommodation, they can ask you such sort of the questions. Tell me about the kind of accommodation you live in. So you can it's not something that you have to just describe it in a very detail. You are supposed to provide the answer, and providing the answer you are supposed to use the good vocabulary. You should focus on your grammar and syntax as well. So, how long have you lived there? So, obviously, you cannot provide with a single or short phrase answer. So, you just have to exaggerate your answer a bit in order to make it a good answer. Now, in the next question, you can see, what do you like about living there? So, you have to be thinking at the same moment that why you think that what do you like about living there, It can be the construction of your house is there, it can be the availability of the grocery stores there, or it can be anything. So what sort of accommodation would you most like to live in? So what sort of accommodation you prefer to live in? Like the it's up to you, your choice. So they will not gonna deduct your marks related to your choice. So whatever is your choice, they are not gonna judge you on that. But the relevancy of the task should be there. Good grammar, good vocabulary, diction, language, syntax, that is more important. Few people like to stay in a very luxurious, you can say, accommodation, and most of the people they don't like it. So it's everyone own's choice, but you need to state with the reason. In part 2, you can see that describe something you own which is very important to you. So that is the Q part section where you should say where you got it from, how long you have had it, what you use it for, and explain why it is important to you. So all these bullet points will be provided to you with the question, and you have to cover all these bullet points. So round of questions, is it valuable in terms of money? Would it be easy to replace? So such sort of the questions would be there. In part 3, you can see, let's consider first of all how people's value have changed. So what kind of things give status to people in your country? This sort of the question would be there. Have things changed since your parents' time? So obviously you need to compare the past with the present time or the recent time. Finally, let's talk about the role of advertising. Do you think advertising influences what people buy? So you need to mention all these things or state the reason that how advertising influences people purchasing, or the way the things people will purchase or they will buy. So in part 1, here are a few tips which you need to keep it in mind. So let's start. Try to give some extra details to your answers, as this will help increase your score. So there are the two types of the students and their answers have been compared. So adding extra detail will help you score. For example, do you like your hometown? A student A will answer it in a way, yes, I do. This is a pinpoint answer, and this is not an exaggerated one where you will be judged by your speaking skills. And student B will say, oh, yes, very much. I especially like the weather as it is warm all year round. Student B's answer is better as it uses more vocabulary and a more complex sentence structure is there. So as I have discussed it earlier, the more you will use compound complex sentences, that will be more appreciated in your speaking skills of IELTS. Beside it, it is also appreciated in your writing skills as well. So don't talk for too long. Giving one or two examples for each question is good, but try not to speak for too long on each question in this section, as you may repeat yourself and this may affect your coherence scores. If you are satisfied that you have answered the question, then stop talking and let the examiner to move on with the next question. Part 2 tips. It is vital to time yourself so you experience what it feels like to speak about the topic for between 1 to 2 minutes. Make notes. Before you speak, you have a bit of time to take notes. Think of useful vocabulary you can use for your talk and take time to plan out your ideas. So that 1 minute is very crucial in order to jot down your ideas related to the each bullet point, and the way you will write, try to write it in that chronological order where you can speak in that sequence. So it will help you out with the coherence, and try to use the connectors or transitional words in order to make a good cohesive device in your answer. So cover all the points. Make sure you pace your talk evenly so that you have covered all the points that the card has instructed you to. So part 3 tips. If you don't understand the question, say so. You need to tell them. Never attempt to answer a question that you have not understood properly. If you don't understand the question, you can ask the examiner to repeat the question, and you are allowed in this section to do so. If there is a word in the question that you don't understand, you can ask for clarification as well. Give yourself some thinking time. You don't have to provide an answer immediately. Give yourself some thinking time by adding a filler. This will buy you some time to think of an answer. Some examples are here. That's an interesting question. You can use it as a filler. Well, let me have a think about that. In this way, in this time period, you can think about your answer, what you want to say, and how you want to say it. And I have never thought about that. Let me see. Then later on, you can add up with your answer. In this way, you have some thinking time, and with the help of such long connectors, you are making your answers at the same moment in your mind, and that will help you out in order to save your time and use your time wisely while constructing your answers. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel for further updates related to IELTS, English grammar, English language lessons. Thank you.